Hey guys, it's Joey. So as some of you might know, Tuesday I was supposed to do a guest appearance on Obnoxious and Anonymous. A lot of you Twin Peaks fans out there sort of commented on Cameron's channel and, wanted to have me on a show, and we figured it out. We did it. We recorded about an hour and a half of an episode, and it was great. We talked about theories. We talked about the episode description leaks for pretty much the end of the series, which we didn't want to know. We both didn't want to know. We made that very explicitly clear that we didn't want to know, but we discussed our theories about the end and how the next couple episodes are going to go, and the whole thing with Sarah Palmer's face and what we thought that was. And we discussed a lot of sort of fun facts about the original series and Fire Walk With Me, and I thought it was a really great episode. I learned a lot about the series, but when Obnoxious and Anonymous, when Cameron went to upload it, it wasn't up too long before it got flagged. His channel was suspended, more or less. He can't upload a video for a while, and it's really concerning to me because I thought it was a really great video. We did a good job. We didn't discuss anything that would be considered taboo or not appropriate enough to get flagged. It didn't make any sense in my head. So it just shows how fragile and weak the YouTube flagging system is right now, and the whole YouTube system just seems to be a little broken, and it's definitely concerning because I want to believe that maybe it's just sort of something that needs to be fixed, but maybe this is the future of YouTube, and this is something that's going to keep happening. And all this sort of small content creators and large might be in for a bit of trouble. So yeah, we really didn't discuss anything taboo that would warrant a flag and a video takedown and a channel suspension. It kind of boggles my mind that even happened. But like I said, the flagging system is very broken. But other than that, the video went really well. Hopefully we get to do another one again soon without any issues. I'm gonna show some of my favorite parts about that episode coming up in a few minutes, but I want you guys to go send Cameron, Obnoxious and Anonymous, some love, show them your support, tweet at the YouTube support staff, let them know what's going on. I don't know if the regular employees can really do anything about this, but as long as we keep pushing and making giving some awareness to this issue that is definitely an issue, especially for anybody who wants to start building a YouTube channel. And our channels are relatively small compared to channels with tens of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands. So it seems like we have less of a fighting chance, but we know the Twin Peaks fans are pretty hardcore, loyal fan base, and we know you guys love these videos, which is why me and Cameron got together to make it. And we've been making videos each week because we love the fans. We are fans ourselves, of course, and we just want to insert all the theories and the knowledge we have into the world so that everybody can have a conversation. And this whole flagging thing is really killing the conversation and sort of tearing the YouTube Twin Peaks community, and not just Twin Peaks, but I know other bigger channels. Like I watch H3 Productions, and they're getting a lot of flags and demonetized videos, and it's really concerning, especially for people that is their job. But now people are trying to find new platforms unless YouTube fixes this problem. So I'm going to share a couple highlights from the episode that I thought were really interesting. I'm going to share the Russian leak description discussion. Again, no spoilers. We didn't want to talk about spoilers at all, although we did talk about theories later. You'll see in the video, because I'm definitely going to put these in the video. So just stay tuned. Here are some clips from our video, our episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, go tweet at the YouTube, email them, YouTube support, or whoever's in charge of videos that are flagged, YouTube review staff. I know YouTube has a support page on Twitter that we've been sort of trying to get in touch with, but it's been radio silence, which is interesting. So again, enjoy. This isn't the full thing, but these are a couple clips from our episode, and stay tuned. Leave your comments and opinions and your thoughts about this whole YouTube flagging thing and demonetization and in the comments below, and also leave your comments on what we discuss later on in this video. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious Anonymous, and welcome to the Twin Peaks Thought of the Day for Tuesday, August 15th, 2017. My guest today, you know him from the Humans versus Robots YouTube channel, is Mr. Joey Pedras. How's it going, man?
How's it going, Cameron? Doing pretty good.
It's been a rough 12 hours to be a Twin Peaks fan, I have to tell you.
It's been a long day.
It's definitely been a long day, and that's why I wanted to do one of these videos, and I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks for having me.
I just discovered you were a fan of my channel, so I was like, you have to come on then.
Of course, yeah. I've been watching you guys after my video, I watch your guys' video, and round out my day, my Sunday.
Oh, so after you record, not after you rewatch your own video, and then you.
No.
Yeah.
After I'm done recording, then it's you guys.
Oh, okay. I thought you recorded it and then you watched it again and admired yourself, and then you went and watched.
We'll have to do that in the editing, which isn't always the best thing, but sometimes I'll pause the editing, see if you guys are on, and there we go.
All right, so a lot of news to get to.
Some serious stuff. And
don't worry, we are going to be discussing the nature of spoilers, but we are not going to be discussing particular spoilers. So you are safe. We're not here to spill the beans about everything. So.
I don't want to know. Nobody wants to know. Anybody that doesn't want to know,
right?
No place to be.
And we're going to get into the nature of what that means for us as Twin Peaks YouTube channels, especially in the next few weeks coming. But before we get to the big story, let's talk about a little story that I feel is also a big story that nobody's talking about. And that is Mr. Nathan Frizzle. And on Sunday, a man by the name of Brett Vickerman tweeted Nathan saying, "Nathan, you're credited as voice in part 14 of Twin Peaks. Can you enlighten the fans as to what that means?" Nathan responded back, "Hi, Brett. I was given the surreal task of voicing David Bowie in Gordon Cole's dream sequence. Honored to be a part of Twin Peaks." Whereupon somebody named Oh Hi Jordan responded back to Nathan, "Why did they need a new voice overdubbed when the scene already had perfectly good audio?" Nathan responded back, "There is logic behind it, but that is a question for the master himself." So apparently,
I like that response.
This guy was brought in to overdub David Bowie because, if you put on your thinking caps here, he's probably going to be doing a voice later in the series.
Seems that way.
Otherwise, they wouldn't need continuity like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's subtleties in Bowie's voice that they need to have everybody down with this new guy. They need to change it up a little bit, I guess.
But see, now I got to go back and watch it, because when I watched the episode, I honestly didn't even notice.
I didn't either. It's rocking my world right now. I
just assumed they had used, a different take. That was it. But now this guy Nathan's saying, "No, I'm David Bowie's voice in this series." That's to me, this was huge news that I haven't seen any website talk about.
No, yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about it. It's crazy.
So I'm certain that there's going to be a lot of viewers on this podcast that go, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know that either." So it's wild. It's amazing when you want to investigate the news that's out there. Sometimes you come across things like this, and it's fascinating. Other times you may come across things you wish you could unsee, and you can't.
Absolutely. 100% with you there.
And I'm not talking about any potential spoilers, but I'm just saying, sometimes you'll someone will drop a picture or something like that, and you go, "Ah."
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the big news. Okay. There's not a lot to say about it, just because I didn't want to jump into the deep end and find out everything, but I found out enough that I can accurately communicate what is going on. So earlier today, Twitter user ML, at Frigo, FRIGGGO, replied back to Twin Peaks Archive on Twitter. Do you know who Twin Peaks Archive is?
No. I mean, I think I follow them, but I don't know.
It's not the Welcome to Twin Peaks Facebook page. I know that, but I maybe they have their own website. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But when I went to see what the original tweet was that ML was responding to, it said Twin Peaks Archive, that I was blocked from seeing that Twitter account. And I'm like, strange. I don't know what's going on in this world where I'm I don't even harass anybody or bother anybody.
Apparently.
I don't know what's going on. Apparently there's people out there that just see me as an enemy about in the Twin Peaks world when I don't do anything to anybody.
Guys, give me a break. What's going on? Take it easy.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm apparently blocked from the Twin Peaks archive. Maybe the people who run the Twin Peaks archive also run the DUGPA forum, and maybe that's just something that clear-cut ban Cameron from everything. So ML releases a tweet that says there's a thread on Reddit, and I'm only saying that because of the tweet. I'm not telling people to go there and seek this out, please. He says there's a thread on Reddit with details about the remaining episodes, so parts 15, 16, 17, and 18, leaked from a Russian streaming service. Beware. Now, a lot of people didn't believe this until John Thorne, formerly of Wrapped in Plastic, now of the Blue Rose magazine. He tweeted, "This is serious. We do not want spoilers for Twin Peaks. Avoid sites with potential spoilers. Ain't It Cool News had spoilers for part 14 and will do it again." Then Mark Frost took to Twitter and he wrote, "First our election and now Twin Peaks. WTF Russia."
Yeah, I saw that. I cracked up because if you follow Mark Frost on Twitter, you know what he's about. But
sure. I mean, he's making a joke, but he's not making a joke. Now, this is not having to do with anything of parts 15, 16, 17, 18. So don't worry. But let me give you an example of what was shown. This is what it kind of looks like. Now, this is for part 12. All right. This is what it kind of looks like. Let me just get it focused. So they'll have 11 and then 12, right? Sort of like a TV guide type of thing. But if you go up to, and I'm not going to give out the name of this Russian site because I don't want to, one, give them publicity, and two, there's a lot of Twin Peaks fans that I know will rush there.
Oh yeah.
And start plugging things into Google Translate.
If you see that picture of that pie, that specific picture, run away, run quickly.
So anyway, what it said for synopsis episode 12, Cole and Rosenfield officially invite Tammy to join them. Hawk visits Sarah Palmer. Truman investigates Richard Horne's crimes. Audrey Horne is looking for a lost lover. And so this is the description, and this is the well. Drink full.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Let's see. There it goes. All right. See that? Okay. So that's kind of like what it looks like for 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, again, does that tell you everything that happens in the episode? No, but it definitely gives you an idea of what is there. And obviously, you could read 15 and then you read 16 and you can pretty much start connecting the dots as to how one thing connects to another. And you can follow that all the way to 18, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, for 12, Audrey was a big tell. People were waiting, got her. I mean, if they saw the spoilers, they knew something pretty huge going on there. So
right,
you might want to steer clear of any other ones.
Okay, so then, I was at work all day, so I had no idea what was going on. Right. And I'm scared to open any email, any message that I get. But so I threw it out there to people saying, hey, just want to give you guys heads up. This is happening supposedly out there. Be cautious. So viewer of this podcast, he wrote me. His name's Robert Bridget, and he kind of broke it down for me. There was a screen grab posted online, which is what I kind of showed you from that was for part 12, though, from what looks like a cable box TV guide. People on the internet then, of course, translated it and posted the episode descriptions, originally on Reddit, but that was deleted. But they keep popping up. From what people have said that have read it, it is legitimate. And it's from the same cable provider that did this previously with other episodes. I advise everyone to stay away, let the magic happen. No spoilers wanted. Some friends online that were saying, oh, I read it, but I don't really believe it. And you know what? The reason why they don't believe it is because it's true.
That's a good point.
Right? Because if you heard, hey, in part 14, Andy and the sheriff and Hawk and are going to discover Nido from part 3 lying naked in the woods, and they have to protect her and put her in a holding cell. You wouldn't believe that.
And Andy in the White Lodge or whatever the heck that is, most people would have never guessed.
Right. Right. And if you read it, no pun intended, Reddit. It's the more unbelievable the synopsises sound, the more true it is.
Probable, yeah.
Because, I mean, come on. I mean, if someone had said to me before part 14, Sarah Palmer takes off her face and then eats a trucker, I don't think I would have really believed them.
I mean, it seems like a joke without the context.
Right. So basically, you need to stay away now for the rest of, I remember when Sky Germany dropped part 14 early, people were saying, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to be off the internet for the next week or so. Now you may have to consider being off until Twin Peaks is over.
Until September 3rd, right? I think that's when
Is it the 3rd or the 5th? It's somewhere around there. Yeah. So
3rd is Sunday, the first Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's insane. But at least it's not that much longer. At least it's not June. And the whole thing leaked or something.
Thankful for that. Jeez.
Look, I know as Twin Peaks fans, we want to know. We want to know what's going to happen. And it's one thing to read a little bit about part 14 or see part 14 early, in my case, and be a little bit ahead of everybody. Like, right? I mean, I understand that.
A little bit, yeah.
Like I said on a previous podcast, it's part 14 or it was part 7 or something like that. It's not 15, 16, 17, 18, the end, right?
That's a totally different story.
I'm not going near that stuff. I don't even want to know even a direction. Yeah, so just be careful out there, I guess.
Avoid Reddit.
Well, but it can trickle down to other places, So here's an interesting question for us. I value the commenters on my videos or the messages I receive. What do we do about this? Because inevitably there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many people that are going to know things ahead of time, and they're going to start putting comments in our videos spoiling things. Now, even if we made it so that you or me on our channels could approve every comment before it got posted, still doesn't protect us from those spoilers.
I'm trying to think if there's any way where we could have it set up so we can have those comments, load in and maybe not check them or approve them until the finale. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but I feel like that's the only way, or disable them completely.
I mean, we could just have potentially everything go to junk and we just don't approve any of it until the series is over. But what fun is that?
Yeah. I mean, that kills the conversation for like the next month, which is probably the best part in my opinion.
Right. I mean, that's one of the things that I miss the most about doing the live streams was that back and forth where people could throw out a theory and I could respond to it, or throw out another theory like right on top of theirs in the moment, 10 minutes after the episode aired.
I hear you. And even that would be dangerous to do now.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know. I mean, please, write down in the comments here, like, what do you want us to do?
I'm at a loss. I'm really not sure.
I don't know. I mean, because I don't want to kill the conversation, like you said, but I don't know. I mean, but it's gonna happen sometime in the next 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to avoid. You're gonna have to take everything with a grain of salt, and try to forget. Try your best to forget.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm curious. Listen. Twin Peaks was, it's a wonderful show. It's a great show. And it's a very emotional show for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was going to be an emotional journey we took, not just watching the show, but experiencing this show. Yeah. And it has definitely not let me down in that respect. I've seen ups and downs, and not just with me, but just the fandom. They're swinging this way. Yeah. They're like, this episode, this whole show's terrible, and then all of a sudden it's a masterpiece, and then back and forth to it's terrible. And I'm in the middle trying to navigate everybody and make sure that people don't rip each other apart.
You know what I try to convey, at least in my videos? Try to see, because people are reacting so heavily to each part, try to see it as the full movie that it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Which is impossible.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet. And so people would say to me, like, well, why don't you just not review this thing until you see the whole movie? But then that kills the conversation. Like, what, you want me to start talking about this thing in October? When everyone's done with it? Part of the, I mean, because I mean, another thing I wanted to do was back in the day when the original series was on, after every episode would air, like especially when it was on Saturday nights at 10 o'clock, my friends and I were on the phone like at 11 o'clock at night, talking this and that. And I wanted to do those podcasts more or less like that used to be, where, you immediately get on the phone with your friends and you're just like,
that would have been great. Yeah.
This is what we think is happening. And, I still remember some of those nights. Like, I mean, especially the night that Maddie died. Wow. I was 14 years old on the phone with like my friends going, that was the longest 20 minutes of television I've ever seen in my life.
I can imagine. I wish I had seen it as it, the original came on. And
there's a lot of small differences, because when they put it on DVD and they put it on Blu-ray, they didn't include a lot of the tags and stuff. There would be like things that would pop up like after the Maddie episode, or Maddie dies and it shows Cooper and then it dissolves to the red drapes and that's the end of the episode. On TV, after it went to black, after the executive producer credit, it came back up and it said Twin Peaks with the familiar road and the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And it held it there for about 5-6 seconds, and all you heard was a wind blowing. And then, then we went to commercial. That wind blowing, not included on the DVD or Blu-ray sets.
I would have loved.
I mean, that's why I have all my original recordings still.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's because it's all that stuff that they just or like the color timing. I mean, when they're in Owl Cave, the Blu-ray set has a completely different color timing as the DVD or the original broadcast versions. And then what's really weird is the gold box set. Like, for instance, like using the Maddie episode in particular, before Leland goes after Madeline, the scene is completely cut differently on the gold box than it was in the broadcast version or the Blu-ray set.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I had no idea.
And I'm trying to figure out who made that decision, right? Because at first I was thinking, did they grab like like the Lynch official version and maybe broadcast, snip some stuff? But it's not like violence they cut out. It was like it was just the timing of shots, and it was like an extra 2 shots thrown in there when Leland's putting on his gloves.
Oh,
it's like weird. It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, it's cool to try and get like.
You think it was like an international cut or something?
It might have been, but I've never seen anyone on the record discuss.
Yeah.
Why?
Interesting.
Because I kind of chalked it up to, maybe like you said, maybe it's an international cut, maybe it's a David Lynch's preferred version before ABC did something to it. No, because the Blu-ray takes it right back to the broadcast version. Yeah, so yeah, we're in for it, I think, as Twin Peaks fans and as Twin Peaks podcasters. We gotta make sure that we ourselves don't see anything. We protect our viewership from seeing anything, and make sure that we make it through the next 3 weeks intact. Next thing, this Sarah Palmer picture going around with supposedly Laura's teeth. Now, contributor to this video series hasn't been on in a while, but Debbie, she sent me this picture. She's like, okay, word around the campfire is that's Laura Palmer's smile. And I looked at the picture she sent me, and I was like, are people reaching here? I mean, this seems ridiculous, right? But then the more I see it online, the more I look into it, I'm like, well, it does make sense. I mean, it is from the picture that each part opens up with. It is the, homecoming picture. So that makes sense. And of course, I mean, I don't know. I really didn't even notice teeth, to be honest, when I watched the episode. I just saw the hand.
I did too. I didn't really notice the teeth. I saw the hand, and
right. And I saw that the ring finger had been blacked out, which is the one that Gordon pointed out to Tammy as being, I think, the spiritual finger.
Mm-hmm.
I did see, what looked like a blade come out of her face, but then someone else is telling me, with a freeze frame of it, that it looks like the frog moth's leg that comes out of her face.
See, I didn't see that. That's interesting.
So that's awesome. And that,
Yeah.
and that would make a lot of sense. Remember when part 8 came out, people were saying that little girl is not Sarah Palmer. I mean, she's like Ecuadorian, and she's just not Sarah Palmer. And I wasn't saying that it was Sarah Palmer, but I just felt like, I don't know, just when I first saw it, I was just like, well, it's probably Sarah Palmer.
Same here.
But then everyone was challenging me on it, saying, no, it's not. She's a completely different race, and that type of thing. So I was like, okay, but it still could be, and it could just be Lynch just cast, a young girl. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see it as any sort of race kind of thing. It was just a little girl. I mean, you can't really, I don't know.
I mean, who knows? It could be, someone who,
Just
it's just,
recognizes it. Yeah.
or it's an example of what also happened to Sarah, or what I mean. It doesn't have to be Sarah Palmer, but there's definitely a connection there, I think. But at this point,
I think so too. I'm with you there.
Did that surprise you when Sarah Palmer just like ate a trucker?
I mean, I knew something was going on with her, but I guess it does explain maybe what happened to the boy from the supermarket.
What do you think happened to him?
I mean, there's an episode where he says, episode where she goes to the convenience store. He says he's going to drop off. He knows where she lives.
Right.
And then when Hawk comes to visit, you hear sort of like jangling in the background. And I thought it was the sound of bottles. So I assumed maybe that's what that was.
Right.
After seeing the last episode.
But you think he was just putting away the groceries, or do you think she was doing horrible things like Jennifer Lynch's Chained movie?
I don't know. I feel like maybe, I don't know what the motivation like to do that is. I don't know if, because the trucker dude was sort of, he was sort of terrible, and this kid just wanted to help her out. So I don't know. Every
person who does who gets like horribly killed in the series is like a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like I was saying the other day, a bunch of car thieves can't just hotwire Dougie's car and blow up. They have to first throw rocks at a kid.
Yeah.
Right. The trucker can't just be like, hey, are you new from around here? Hey, would you like a drink? No, thanks. Oh, okay. And then she does something horrible. Like he has to be like all out horrible.
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost like the more evil or bad someone is, the more the Black Lodge gets like energy or something, and like it feeds it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I'd say so.
Some people are saying that the smiley face of Laura is what Sarah Palmer was referring to in the Between Two Worlds segment on the Blu-ray set, where she says, I walk around with my happy face.
Oh.
But yeah. I always assumed that she was like faking being happy in front of people. I didn't think that Laura Palmer's smile was infesting her head.
Literally walking around with a happy face.
Right. So do you think that this happened off screen over the 25 years, even though at the end of season 2, we do have her doing the I'm in the Black Lodge with Dale Cooper? Or do you think that perhaps this was always a part of her, and that she was hesitant but complicit with Leland and Bob?
It's interesting. See, I haven't thought about it, but
I mean, hopefully we'll have some sort of context by the end of the series.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder.
I have a lot of theories, especially since this, whatever this is, took out somebody evil. I don't know if I have this wild theory, and Stan, bear with me, that this thing is also trying to get Bob or Evil Cooper, and maybe went through Sarah to do it. But this is just my kind of wacko theory.
So you think Bob is like, or the doppelganger is trying to get to Mother for whatever reason, but the Mother is basically playing Bob, doppelganger, whatever, to her advantage, so that she can just take them out herself?
Possibly.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe because of, the whole thing with Bob doing what he's doing and sort of tearing apart the lodge, there's sort of things going after him, also taking it into their own hands. That's just my theory, though.
Well, it's like, why is the evolution of the arm working so closely with Cooper when he comes out of the sidewalk, squeeze his hand off?
That's sort of my thought process behind that. I think
everybody's out for Bob and Doppel Cooper, Mr. C.
Now, why is Bob given a 25-year lease in Cooper's body when Leland had 40 years?
That I was actually having this conversation the other day. I'm not sure. I think it's just convenient, but I'm really not sure about that one. I don't have any real theories, but yeah, the whole Leland thing kind of throws it for a loop.
Yeah, I agree. What did you think of part 14?
I really loved it. I felt like it was one of those episodes that went by very, very quickly. I didn't feel like there was a moment where I wanted to reach for my phone or anything like that. And I feel like we're moving towards a very interesting end. It was sort of I'm getting sort of like a very Lynchian Avengers kind of thing happening,
especially with the Green Glove.
Green Glove and like superpowers and like Andy being imbued with all this knowledge. I feel like it's just everything is coming together.
Well, the Andy thing is really interesting in my opinion.